Economic and Financial Crimes Commission battles black market to boost Naira. Local currency gains 60 Naira to $1 within a week. Federal government inaugurates committee on metal dump sites. Oil slides amid recession fears, slow recovery in China imports. This is Business Express on the network service of the NTA, and we are reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Musa Abubakar. Now let's bring you up to speed with Business Development. Nigeria and the International Fund for Agricultural Development have so far invested $455 million for the financing of two key agricultural projects. Consequently, the United Nations Organization alongside African Development Bank and Islamic Development Bank are making efforts to finance Nigeria's agro-processing zones project in the country. Musa Aliu tells us more.
The partnership between Nigeria and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, has been rated as the largest in the world. The two parties are currently funding value chain development program in 6 states. This is in addition to the Livelihood Family Support Program in the Niger Delta.
Very soon,
IFAD country coordinator in Nigeria says more programs will be provided for Nigeria.
Through the partnership with the federal government of Nigeria and IFAD, the special agro-processing zone program will be also launched.
And this gathering here is to discuss how to scale up the Nigeria-IFAD partnership. It is to include standard procurement and financial discipline in management of funds.
Expected to lead to the following results. 1. Participant knowledge of financial management and procurement will be improved. 2nd, action plan for quality and timely project procurement will be developed in line with recommendation of supervision and support mission.
Obandoma Ularamu represented the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. He said the ministry is appealing to participating states to ensure prompt payment of their counterpart funds.
This will enhance the achievement of all the developmental objectives of the project optimally, while keeping in mind value for money and acceptable compliance to the IFAD policy and procedures.
The participating states under the Value Chain Development Program are Anambra, Benue, Ebonyi, Niger, Ogun, and Taraba. Musa Aliyu.
Now, the Asian commercial city of Kano is bracing up to regain its lost status of global commercial bloc as witnessed in the glorious days of trans-Saharan trade. Aminu Umar reports that this followed the declaration of the soon-to-be inaugurated Dala Inland Port Kano as port of origin and destination by the federal government.
I call on national and international maritime practitioners, shippers, shipping companies to take full advantage of this facility for the import and export of their cargoes.
The Dala Inland Dry Port was conceived as part of federal government reform program to act as a catalyst to improve trade flows, boost inland trading, and revitalize export of agricultural products.
Experts also believe the port will scale.
It is believed that a nation's economic competitiveness is linked increasingly to its ability to export raw materials, intermediate goods and products efficiently and economically. An active seaport in the society is a key enabler. What is the Nigerian experience? Joining me on this conversation is the CEO, Institute of Export Operations and Management, Often Udofia. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you, Musa. It's good to have me again.
Okay, the blue economy is central to growth, and 80% of investments in Lagos and Port Harcourt are due to their closeness to seaports. How true is that?
There's a saying that he that holds the water of the world holds the wealth of the world. So in a nutshell, if you have the water, the wealth is in your hand. Because starting from the aquaculture angle of it up to shipment of goods across all other nations, you do that greatly by sea, because we have big ships that can carry up to 10,000 containers, which one has actually arrived on there some times ago. So there's no gainsaying that if you hold the waters, you hold the wealth of the nation.
Okay, cargo and vessel traffic in Lagos ports have affected exports and imports in a way of, changing the narrative. The NPA is considering a tariff rebate of like 30% for service providers. What does this mean for exports?
Yes, actually, I thank God for our predecessors in Nigeria, our founding fathers, and who created a lot of ports in where we have the coastal area. And you know very well that within the South-South zone, we have a port in Calabar, we have two in Delta, we have two in Port Harcourt, coming around to be about 5 seaports. So with the challenge we're having in Lagos and the Papa locked, so Port Harcourt angle was open. In 2014, a committee was set on how to encourage utilization of the eastern ports. And that committee actually worked well. And that was chaired by Shepherds Council, later by NTA. I think that's the fruit we are getting now, because before now, people were not coming to Port Harcourt at all. But now the area, one port is booming, Oden one port is booming, and to crown it all, Calabar Port, which I usually call a swimming pool, has now become actually a port of destination.
Okay, in addition to the port expansion and concession by federal government viability, the federal government through the NEPC is opening trade houses around the world. How position Nigerian businesses to take advantage of this?
Well, that is a laudable plan and arranged by Nigerian Export Promotion Council. I want to thank the new executive director, Mr. Dr. Yekoza, for that. But it's a very good thing that is happening. But I think at home, we need to do more to build the capacity of our SMEs and their production capacity, their standard capacity, and the capacity of their packaging in order to be able to meet up with this. Because with what they've done, I believe there will be increased demand for our finished product. And if we are not prepared at home, we may not be able to meet up. It is a very good and laudable arrangement by Nigerian Export Promotion Council.
Okay, and how positioned are we to take advantage of the African continental free trade?
I would say yes, we have done some things, but we are not yet there. Because I believe the National Assembly have to domesticate the law locally, and then we build the capacity, as I said, of our SMEs, and then look at the area we have a comparative advantage. So we still work in progress. I would not 100% say we are prepared. We are still working and we are still getting ready.
Okay, your institute is involved in training and capacity building as well for exports. How is that going so far?
Yes, just like the video you shown, we are doing a lot in that ecosystem. because if you don't teach people how to do things right, we may not be able to get it. We are doing that a lot. You know, our population is partly part of our problem. Our population is so large that anything you produce in Nigeria, whether goodly packaged or not, it still has its own market because the market is large. But what we are doing in the institute now, we are actually training people on how to package their product to meet international standard, how to get the specification that is needed through certification, which Nigerian Export Promotion Council is actually helping to certify some companies. We also help them in traceability. Traceability is key, because if your product has a problem internationally and it cannot be traced back to the farm or to the factory, it means there will be a blanket ban on that product. So the institute is doing quite a lot, and we are training so many women, so many young people, and also factory owners, which I may not mention all of them at this moment.
Okay, what about the issue of standardization of products? Because we seem to have issue of rejection of our products in some places.
Yes, sometimes last year, we at the Institute, we collaborate with the Food and Drug Administration of America trade consultants to help them in certification. And Nigerian Export Promotion Council is also doing a lot. Even this year is ongoing. They are already publishing that companies who need certification that will enable them to sell internationally should come to them. We are also assisting alongside with other partners on getting the halal certification and the HCCP certification. So I believe it's work in progress, and a lot of Nigerians are beginning to key into it, and they know that certification is beyond NAFDAC. Even when you have NAFDAC, you still need to have other countries' certification. So there's a lot of campaign on that. There's a lot of sensitization on that, and some products are already getting that in Nigeria.
Okay, besides sensitization, any collaboration to ensure success in the nearest time?
Yes, because you know, the federal government has set up a committee on rejection headed by Dr. Adele in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. NAFDAC is there, Export Promotion Council is there, SON is there, and other relative agencies, and we are also working from the corner, even Shippers Council. So NEPC is actually working with us, they are collaborating with us, even working on how to see how they can put up packaging center like the one we are about commencing in Port Harcourt. Even Smith is still working within that space. So there is hope that with this synergy, that in a period of time, we'll look back to say, yes, we've gone some mileage.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ofon Udofia, CEO, Institute of Export Operations and Management. Thanks for sharing your thought with us.
Thanks, Musa. It's nice to have me once again.
Let's move to other stories. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Nia Adebayo, on Monday inaugurated a standing committee on the setting up of centralized metal scrap dump sites in all the states of the Federation and FCT. The committee, which drew its members from critical stakeholders in the iron and steel sector, is to interface with the 36 state governments for land allocation for the dump sites, come up with blueprint for the operations of the centralized scrap dump sites, and come up with measures that will eliminate smuggling and exportation of metal scraps, among other issues. Inaugurating the committee, the minister noted that the iron and steel sector is critical to industrialization of the nation's economy, adding that the federal government hopes to leverage on the sector to attain the desired objective of industrialization in the medium to long term. Efforts at stimulating and facilitating increased participation of Nigeria SMEs in non-oil export business is being given a boost as stakeholders in Port Harcourt have embarked on training of SMEs, establishment of laboratories for quality assurance. Joy Uzo reports that the Institute for Export and Operations Management is drilling the blaze in Port Harcourt.
We've done a lot with United Nations because we have partnership with International Trade Center, WTO, and the FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization. We do a couple of training with them, mostly on packaging, because we discovered that most of our products are actually good, but the way it is packaged is a problem. So I can say categorically we have trained over 200 women on packaging, and most of whom their products were shown to Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala when she visited Nigeria.
Nigeria has a lot of raw material that can be transformed into finished product and exported. And I want to encourage as many people as are interested to actually use this opportunity to partner with the Institute of Export Operation.
Oil prices inch up from multi-month lows on Monday as lingering worries about demand weakening on the back of a darkened economic outlook outweigh some positive economic data from China and the United States, erasing earlier gains. Brent crude futures were down 0.5% at $94.41 a barrel. Earlier, U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $88.58 a barrel, down 43 cents. Let's now see prices of other commodities on the global commodities market. Well, let's join Muplan Dakok for weekend review for last week NGX activities.
The equities market in Nigeria appreciated by 0.70% last week as investors logged 196 billion naira gain in the week, driven majorly by consumer goods, banking, and oil and gas stocks. The all-share index rose to 50,722.3 basis points as market capitalization appreciated to close at 27.3 trillion naira. 705.6 million shares worth 12.8 billion naira in 22,124 deals exchanged hands by investors on the floor of the exchange. The financial services industry led the activity chart. The conglomerates industry followed, while the third place was occupied by the consumer goods industry. Trading in the top three equities, Guarantee Trust Holding Company, Zenith Bank and FBN Holdings accounted for 173.8 million shares worth 3 billion naira in 4,324 deals. 16,247 units of exchange-traded products ETPs valued at 400,448.65 naira were traded in the week in 24 deals, while 118,689 units of federal government bonds valued at 120.8 million naira were traded. All other indices appreciated with the exception of the NGX main board, insurance, industrial goods, and sovereign bond indices, while the NGX SM index closed flat. 41 equities appreciated in price, 22 equities depreciated in price, while 93 equities remained unchanged.
Well, now moving on, the bears have a grip of the stock market in Nigeria this Monday as trading ended on a negative note. The all-share index depreciated to 50,489.73 basis point. Market capitalization dropped to 27.232 trillion naira. 207.195 billion naira were traded on the floor of the exchange in 4,234 deals valued at 2.119 billion naira. FBN Holdings and Access Corporation were among the top traders in terms of volume. Let's join Neka Oko for global update.
European markets climbed on Monday after falling the most in 3 weeks on Friday, as investors brushed off the risk from the Federal Reserve's rate increases and focused on robust earnings. The DAX rose 0.31%, UK FTSE added 0.33%, and the French CAC gained 0.5%. Technology stocks in Hong Kong pulled the broader index lower on Monday as Asian markets traded mixed. The Hang Seng Index ended the session 0.77% lower at 20,045.77. The Nikkei 225 in Japan was up 0.26% at 28,249.24, while the Shanghai Composite gained 0.31% to 3,236.93. U.S. stock futures rose in early trade following the S&P 500's third straight weekly gain as investors in the region shifted focus to a key inflation report this week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 0.22%, S&P 500 appreciated by 0.29%, and Nasdaq 100 advanced 0.47%. It was mixed trading for African markets this Monday after last week's volatile trading. South Africa, Kenya, and Ghana were stocks in green, while Morocco, Namibia, and Tunisia pointed downwards.
Well, thank you, Neka. This is where we end this episode of the program. Business Express will return tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Don't forget, you can access all previous episodes on YouTube. I am Musa Abubakar.